Well, hello there. Welcome to Startup Lawyer Up. My name is Austin Nowakowski of Nowakowski Legal, PLLC. I'm an attorney out of Seattle, Washington that focuses my practice on assisting entrepreneurs to remove the legal roadblocks that tend to arise during the course of their running their businesses. Every few weeks, I'll be posting a new video discussing a different topic on a subject which my clients tend to have many questions regarding. These will range from the formation of a company, whether it be an LLC or a corporation, to the drafting of business contracts, to the potential dissolution of a business entity. For example, in today's video, we'll be discussing the items that should be taken into consideration prior to the actual formation of a business entity. So with that being said, let's get started. So you have a business idea. What do you do now? Determining your budget is the first major hurdle in the pre-formation of your business entity. Without knowing what your business's budget will be, you'll have no idea as to how much it'll cost to actually run your business. You'll have no idea what it costs to keep your doors open, how much money you'll need to have in reserve to be able to run and sustain your business for several months that it'll cost for you to actually build up your business. And most importantly, you'll have no idea as to how much money you will actually need to bring in order to pass what the budget amount is so that you can actually start deriving a profit from your business. So in starting off and creating your budget, it's usually best to determine what your costs will be moving forward. I usually suggest making a budget for at least a year into the future, so that way you have an idea as to what it's going to cost to run your business for a year. Later on, you can start putting in the potential income and profits that you're expecting to have come in, but it's usually a much better idea to know what your business is going to cost you so that you can start planning accordingly. In budgeting your business's costs, you're going to want to take into consideration three major items. That would be one-time costs, monthly variable costs, and monthly fixed costs. A one-time cost is exactly what it sounds like. It's a cost that's likely going to be relatively expensive, but you're only going to have to purchase it once. Think about buying a company vehicle or maybe the new copy machine. That would be what you would consider a one-time cost. In contrast to the one-time cost, the monthly costs are paid on a more regular basis. They don't necessarily have to be paid monthly, but they would be paid on a regular fixed time schedule. The difference between a monthly fixed and a monthly variable, however, is that a monthly variable tends to fluctuate in price, whereas a monthly fixed remains constant. So an example of a monthly variable would be your heating bill, for example. Your heating bill is going to be more expensive in the winter, but it's going to be less expensive in the summer. Therefore, it's variable. A monthly fix, on the other hand, stays constant throughout. So think your internet bill, potentially Netflix, or if you pay for any services for your business, such as a telephone answering service or whatnot. Those are usually going to remain fixed costs. Taking into consideration your fixed monthly costs, your variable monthly costs, and your one-time costs, you're then going to want to create a spreadsheet that is a month-to-month spreadsheet that is over the course of a full year. So that way you'll have an idea as to what your costs and expenses will be each month for the first year of your business's existence. Now that you have an idea as to what the preliminary costs and expenses will be for the first 12 months of your budget, you'll have a good idea as to how much capital you should likely have on hand for purposes of starting your business. I generally suggest to my clients that they have at least 6 months to the full year's worth of capital in the bank or promised to them by investors before they actually move forward with the formation of the business. This way, in the event that something goes wrong or for whatever reason they don't acquire any profit or income whatsoever for those first 6 months to the full year, they at least have enough money to keep themselves running and to give themselves the opportunity to succeed. Of course, all businesses are different. Some businesses might need to have more capital in the bank than others. For example, a software company developing a piece of software that might take 2 years to develop is going to want to have more capital in the bank to sustain themselves for those 2 years until they're actually able to derive a profit than, say, somebody that's opening a hot dog stand on the corner, as they'll be able to start deriving a profit immediately. Regardless, now that we know how much capital it will require to form and operate your business, we need to start thinking about how we're going to accumulate that capital. That can be accumulated in a number of ways. Maybe you have a nest egg in reserve that you can just utilize for purposes of starting your business yourself without having to worry about investors, or perhaps you may need to speak with your family and friends and tell them about your business and try and convince them to either loan you the money or potentially even invest. Speaking of investors, you can also seek venture capitalists or angel investors if your product is the type that they might be interested in. Fair warning though, most angel investors or venture capitalists usually look for somebody that has a very novel idea that likely has a very quick turnaround in regards to the profit that they'll make off of your idea, your invention, your startup, or your business. If taking on investors is not an option for you, or if you don't necessarily want to borrow money from friends or family, another option would be to seek a loan from a bank that either provides loans to small businesses or might have an SBA approved loaning operation at their bank. The problem with doing these loan options, however, is that they will normally require you to provide a personal guarantee on the loan, which means that if your business is unable to pay back the loan, you will personally be liable for that. I usually try to steer people away from doing anything that has anything to do with a personal guarantee because of that exact reason. However, it is a viable option. That all being said, most of my clients want to try and keep the business as much for themselves as they possibly can. If it's a couple of people that are looking to form a partnership or be members in an LLC, they'll try to make it so that they're the only owners of the company. If it's a sole proprietorship or if it's a single person that wants to own the business themselves, they usually want to own 100% of it. As such, when they start to form their business, they usually try to keep their budget as lean as possible, so that way they're either the sole investor or money that they're able to accumulate from friends and family on a loan, or if they're actually able to acquire an SBA loan or a loan from a bank, that's usually the route that they'll want to take it first. Later on, if their idea or their business blows up and they suddenly need to have a quick influx of capital, then they'll usually go out and they'll seek investors such as angel investors or venture capitalists to give them a quick boost of cash and to hopefully help them to grow the business to a much larger size. Once you've accumulated the necessary amount of capital to form and operate your business, the next thing to take into consideration is what type of entity status you want to create for your business. There's multiple choices to be had here. You can go with a sole proprietorship, a partnership, a limited liability company, a corporation. All of them are viable choices, some that are better than others. I generally tend to suggest to my clients to at least form an LLC so they have the necessary liability protections needed for most businesses that operate today. But it's always a good idea to speak with both an attorney and an accountant for purposes of learning the ups and downs in comparison to what kind of business you're trying to create. Keep in mind that in the next couple of videos, I will be discussing partnerships, sole proprietorships, LLCs, and corporations to give you a better idea as to which one might be a better fit for your business. So with that all being said, I think that we've gone over enough to really kind of give you a starting point for things to think about prior to actually creating your business. If you have any more questions or concerns, you're more than welcome to send me a comment in the comment box below. Or if you would like, you can go to my website at nowakowski-legal.com and download the business startup guide that I have available on the homepage to my website. It's an excellent addition to everything that we've talked about today, and I think that it would really be helpful for anybody thinking about forming or starting their own business because it goes into a lot of what we talked about, but in much greater detail. Lastly, in case you have any specific questions in regards to your business or anything that we talked about today, feel free to reach out to me. My contact information is included in the comment section below and on my website. Thank you very much for taking the time to listen to my video, and I look forward to talking to you again in the near future. Have a great day. Nailed it.